Good morning, people. Hope you're all well, and welcome back to the other side. This is your morning brew. I have my morning brew. I'm not. Steady. I've got my morning brew. Not sure if you guys have or not. Well, it's been a little while since I've uploaded on here, and today is just an honest reflection on what's been happening. Because for those of you that have followed the Blades Ramble for a little while, I know this channel hasn't been going for that long, but over on the Blades Ramble, we've built an incredible community, and people know a little bit about me now. I think certainly those that are interested or are bothered, that can be a little bit up and down. So I wanted to start off just by telling you about how brilliant a week I have had. I can't remember whether it was last Tuesday or Wednesday. I was invited to like a guest the ex-pro event. It's a midnight event at Sheffield United, basically. I went there and met up with a couple of, the ex-pro that was there. That's going to come out on Midnight's channels, and I'm sure we'll be sharing and collabing with that as well. So obviously we're not going to spoil that video, but met up with the ex-pro there. Met up with Adam Davies and Pat Bamford, who obviously we've got a decent relationship with now as well. Met up with those. I don't even know if I've spoken to you since I went to the sponsored event where we got to speak with the vast majority of the players. So that the ex-pro was really good. We went up on the training ground and we were filming little bits for Midnight and places I've never been before. And it just, if I'd have told myself as a kid that I was going to get to do some of these things with my club, I'd never have believed it. And there's a reason I'm telling you these things as well. So stick with us. So, and then on Sunday night, after we'd beaten Derby, so we finished the season on a kind of a high after what was pretty much going out with a whimper on a really poor season. So there's lifted spirits slightly, and we go into it, and there were 14 of us. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, when I've been to that we went for a beer with Sheffield United way boys, because we hadn't really connected that much. You sort of drift a little bit, and a couple of people say a few bits, and you hear a lot of third party stuff, and it can make sort of animosity grow, really. So it was good to just get back together again and sort of put world to rights. And so possibly expect some stuff with Sheffield United way going forward, because me and Nick have always got on great. There's been a couple of bumps in the road when other people have got involved, don't get me wrong, and it's difficult to sort of anyway, that's a different tale altogether. But so we went for a beer afterwards, and then we win on Saturday, so the mood's lifted, and we go into the player of the year on Sunday, and there were 14 of us that all went together. There were more Ramblers there. Shout out to Paul and a few other, Paul O'Shea and a few others that were there as well. All badged up, all looking really smart. Not only that, we get there and the majority of players know who we are. There's a couple of them calling me Mr. Ramble and Hey Up Jimmy and all this. My mind was blown. To know that some of the players who were coming up to us and telling us to watch regularly is unbelievable. To get to know some of the players I always think we're a positive channel, but we'll always be honest first and foremost. And I haven't held back on players like Tanganga or Tyrese Campbell or other players. And I know this isn't a Blades Ramble channel. But I'm just stick with me if you can. I do ramble, believe it or not. And to know that was happening, that they were watching Tyrese Campbell coming up and saying he really enjoyed what we did. He understood how we felt, and he wants to come on and have an honest conversation. He's since been messaging me and saying he'll definitely come on. I've asked him to check with club because I don't want him to get in bother for it or anything like that. I want us to make sure we're doing everything that's above board. But it was quite humbling, and we had a really good night. Really good night. I always have done. It's very expensive, so I'm not saying it's definitely value for money, because I think tickets were coming to close to 200 quid or over 200 quid plus that, which is ridiculous. And then roll on to day before yesterday. So this is Wednesday. I got a chance to play for a Sheffield United 11 against a midnight 11. There were no ex-pros involved and no management team or anything like that, but we got to go and play on the Bramall Lane pitch. And that means you go into a home dressing room, you get changed into United kit. I had one of midnight boys come up to me, shout out to Reese and said, "Mate, would you mind being player, manager, captain?" Yeah. Well, to be fair, I'd already decided. He'd let me know that, but then we had Chris from Den Blades, who had already sort of taken a bit of a leadership role within the group for warm-ups and stuff like that. Because we didn't know each other. None of us knew each other. There were me, Good Nick, and Ollie from Sheffield United were there as well, but Ollie were playing for other side for some reason. Other side. So I said, because I were going to be on sidelines for a lot of it, I've already thought, because I'll come to this, but I've not been very well. So I were on sidelines and I says, "Chris, will you be captain for us, pal?" So Chris was captain and brilliant player, by the way, as well. Nick put his hand up to go in goal, all this sort of stuff, and because he thought I'd get filmed more, but that's one of them things. I'm going to send him over some footage today for his vlog, and there's a few little bits happening. So, so played at Bramall Lane. I think it's fair enough to be able to say what happened. So we went 1-0 down to Midnight Boys, who looked a lot younger and fitter than us United lads, I'll tell you. Majority of us, I don't want to speak for everybody. But then one of our boys, Lewis, scores a belter, an absolute belter to make it 1-apiece at half time. And it stayed that way in second half. We'd started 4-4-2. We switched to a back three in the second half just to mix it up a little bit and try and play to the strengths of the lads that we got. And we definitely showed it up a little bit, but we just couldn't quite get over the line. Went to a penalty shootout, and managers took first pens. And I scored at the cop end. I scored my penalty at the cop end. Oh, my word. And that has all happened within about 10 days. And in fact, it's about a week. So you try and look back and appreciate, and I certainly do appreciate them all. But I've not, as I say, I'm circling back to it for a reason. I haven't been that well recently, and I feel like I've been getting a little bit worse. So much so that Sam went and sorted me out some antibiotics yesterday and stuff like that with doctor and what have you. But I didn't know what was wrong, and I still aren't sure what's wrong, to be honest. But as well as feeling under weather and not quite being right, I've been quite low in terms of my mood as well, which happens, and that's absolutely fine. But I don't even know why I'm sort of. I don't always want it to be like I'm coming on here with Tales of Woe, and it's little bit like Eeyore from not Rupert. What's he called? Winnie the Chuffing Rupert the Bear, Winnie the Pooh. Because I'm all right, I'm fine, but I'm just a little bit low, and I just think, sorry, I'm full of. So it started. Well, I already were a little bit under weather for the first midnight gig, but that went down okay, and I enjoyed it. But they didn't have this. This is quite open and raw, so I'm just going to be honest with you. They didn't have any kits that would fit me, and that was not great. Not a great feeling. I'd already brought my own just in case, but the only top I had was one that Jamie Dumpling gifted to us. So I want to say thank you to Jamie Dumpling. And the sizing was right, but it just still felt quite tight. So I'm there in front of Patrick Bamford with a Sheffield United shirt with Patrick Bamford on back, and I just thought, this is not good. This is not good. So I get the comedy element of that, and I had to lean into it, but in all honesty, the feeling of not having a shirt that fits was not great. And then we get to the game. We get to the Sunday night. The Player of the Year do, um, and I'd been looking for a tux for like a couple of days before, and couldn't find anything. Couldn't find anything I liked. And Sam were doing some digging through. She went, "Oh, there's your tux here from might have been last year, to be honest. I didn't even know I bought one." So I tried it on and it looked all right. And I thought, bloody hell, it saves me a purchase. Great, let's do that. So I'd tried it on already, and then I put it on the night, and it were really tight, really tight. And I thought, well, I can't do it about it. Can't do it about it now. I tried it without the jacket, weren't having it. Um, it just don't look good. Don't look good. And um, so I spoke. I were picking my dad up because obviously I don't drink for these sort of things. It's not that I don't drink at all or that I'm against drinking or anything, but I think with what I do for a living, you can't you can't get hammered at these sort of things unless you're Tyrese Campbell. You can't get hammered at these sort of things and have a good story come out of it at end, or you're certainly running the risk. Shout out Man Mountain. Um, so um, so I went to this do, or I picked my dad up for this do, and um, normally I would try. Apologies, Dad, but normally I would try and hide this sort of thing from him. Really, that I was feeling low about my mood and my appearance and all this sort of thing. And I couldn't. I were really sort of sloughened about it. I'd had a bit of a big wobble before I went. Just one of them things, really. And I were running around. I were late because I were trying to find alternatives and stuff. So I picked my dad up, and he was like, "What's up with you?" And I told him, and to be fair to my dad, um, we're quite different in how we deal with stuff like this. And he doesn't really. He'll admit to me straight away. He doesn't really understand how to um, make it better, but he does the absolute best he can. And the truth of it is, he can't. He can't do anything. He wants to because he's my dad, and he wants to understand how I feel. And I think he does understand how I feel. He just don't know how to, remedy it. Because as a parent, that's all you want to do, innit? You want your kids to feel all right. And he's saying, "Jim, you look absolutely fine. Honestly, pal, I'd tell you if you were," and he probably would. "I'd tell you if you didn't," and all this. But sometimes it's not what you know. It's not what you know yourself. It don't matter whether people think you look all right. It's what you feel about yourself. Uh, and he said, "We'll get in there, and you'll feel absolutely fine." And I did. But I'm always half conscious of my sin and stuff like that. So that's two events that I've been to that I should have been absolutely thriving in, and I were always sort of half. It was tainted a little bit, and I don't mean to feel ungrateful for any of this. This is just how I unfortunately felt during these situations. And then fast forward to Wednesday, and again, United were only able to provide what kit was left in the shop, essentially, and there weren't any sizes for me. But this time, I hadn't brought a an alternative. Can you imagine? It were blank on back of his shirts. Can you imagine? I'm only one with Bamford on back at 42-year-old. It's ridiculous. So thankfully, they provided like a training top that did fit, and they are lovely bits of kit, by the way, which we got to keep. I don't know if we're supposed to keep them, but I kept mine. So I've got a United training top, the red one, and then I put my shirt up at top of that, and it didn't look as bad, but it didn't look good. And I just thought, I'm not enjoying this like I should be enjoying it. I should be free. And the fact that it helped me that I was player manager, to be honest, because I could only come on for 10 minutes. And look, I'm not fit. I'm not fit by any means, but I could go for half an hour. But because I were ill and I'd been getting progressively worse through a week, I were short of breath. And I have been short of breath for the last couple of days. today's first day I've started to feel better, but I've had these sort of ups and downs. I could only do 10, 15 minutes, and then I had to come off because I were almost crawling because I'm not right. So it was like I couldn't properly experience it. So I got the absolute maximum I could out of that day, to be fair, but I came away again feeling quite, this is my own fault. This is my own fault. I'm not able to throw myself fully into these. And the overriding, like, disappointment of it all is it's not enough. It's not enough for me to um it's not made me, like, for example, Emily, my daughter, she's she gets anxious herself because um she had her teeth knocked out when she were little. She got a little lad tripped her over and it knocked one of her teeth out. And so for ages she was conscious of her mouth. And then when her adult teeth have grown through, they protrude out a little bit. And she's really self-conscious. She's a shy kid anyway, and she's really self-conscious about it. So she's asked if we can look into a brace. So we've done it. We've looked, and it's very expensive. But you can't put a price on your kids. Like, this will change her life. So we've done it rather than wait till it's a couple of years till we can get it for no, like I was considering. We've paid and we've started the process. But yesterday or day before, sorry, she'd had 2 teeth out, or 3 teeth out actually, to make room for this brace and this metal frame that she were having. And she'd felt really upset about it. And she obviously was in a lot of pain. So she couldn't have anything really other than soup and stuff. And she's a bit of a fussy eater as it is. But her favourites, either pizza or she's really into fish and chips at the minute. So yesterday she asked if we could have some fish and chips because I'd said to her I'd treat her whatever she wanted. So I got us fish and chips in. Why am I having fish and chips last night? And I've put a pound on when I've weighed myself this morning. Why am I having fish and chips when I've felt like I've felt for this last week? Why am I doing that? What? Why? Why aren't I saying, "Come on, kid, bit of portion control"? And don't get me wrong, that were probably, I think, was that the only meal I had yesterday? It might have been the only thing I had to eat yesterday. So maybe my calorie count's lower than average. But I don't eat a lot, but what I eat is bad. So I've been struggling because of my health. I've been struggling getting into gym. I think I had 1 session last week with Finn. I'm going again today. That'll be my 2nd session this week. So no matter what, I'm trying to drag myself, and that's what it feels like at the minute. I'm trying to drag myself to the gym. I haven't been to my local gym since I've started feeling run down. It's sort of all been parked, and I feel like I need to get back on the horse. But I'm just feeling a bit sorry for myself at the moment. Having said all of that, everything's going well. I just need to. I'm always conscious that people seeing you doing all this stuff, and why aren't you more grateful? And I'm very, very grateful for everything. I promise you, I am. I can't tell you what it means to me and what younger me would feel about it. But this is reality of not everything is as you see it. This morning, I've got, as I say, I still feel a bit groggy, but I'm a bit better than I was. But because I didn't do anything hardly yesterday, I couldn't get out of bed really, not properly. I'm going to edit loads of footage from the game. I've still got the players' sponsor video to edit. I've got to set up all the watch-alongs for the playoffs. We've just about sorted out who's doing what. I was supposed to do a draw yesterday for who's doing what games. I've just gone with whoever said they're free, and we've allocated it that way. If we can, we'll get something sorted. I'm sure we will. It's me and Jord tonight for first championship, first leg playoff. Really looking forward to all those. And now that I'm starting to feel a bit better again, you can probably feel my energy levels are up a little bit. Then I'll be full steam ahead. So yeah, there's just been a little bit to catch up on there. I've gone for 20 minutes talking about me being overweight, pretty much. But yeah, so if you're struggling, and I don't just mean mentally, but yeah, struggling for motivation or whatever it might be, you're not on your own. You're not on your own. And I'm here if anybody can help me with it, or if anybody needs, or wants to do things together, I'm happy with that. I want to give a massive shout out to Charlie, one of our platinum ramblers, who maybe I think she's working this morning, but she signed up with Finn, our PT, um, and she messaged me last night saying how brilliant it was, and that she's willing to come on and tell people a little bit about her story as well. So we'll do a little bit of that with the fitness journey stuff, because really proud of Charlie. It's a big hurdle to overcome to make that first step, to not only sign up to the gym, but sign up with a PT and say you're going to do something. I need to get back on that mindset. And if this week isn't going to do it for me, I'm sort of fearful as to what will. But I'm confident I will. This is accountability for me, putting stuff online. So yeah, I'm going to jump into some of your comments, see what you guys are saying, and that might steer the conversation a little bit. Batman says, "Morning, mate. How are you doing out of 10? Being back to reality this week. Out of 10, I would say I am 6.5, probably 6.5, and that is up. That is up. I've been like that, and I feel like I'm there at the minute. So not bad at all. Did you play at Bramall Lane? He says, I did. Did you play at Bramall Lane? Were you captain? Well, I wasn't captain actually, because I gave the armband away. But I was player manager. I was also in the dugout. Unbelievable, mate. Unreal experience. Just about to get myself a brew as well. A different kind of brew to the ones I consumed too many of last weekend. Nice. Yeah, you certainly did. You certainly did. We're a brilliant do. We all ramblers. Absolutely brilliant. Morning, Jimmy, says Matt. Good morning, my mate. Meldrew says, morning, my mate. How we doing? Just about recovered from Sunday. Yes, I was that bad. Can't wait for the playoffs watch-alongs to get involved in. Me too, pal. Sarah says, morning, mate. How are you? I'm okay, Sarah. How are you? Let me know how you are out of 10. That's what Community Foundation. I was talking to them from Community Foundation, actually, at Sheffield United. That's something when they were doing their mental health talks. It's something they do. They badge it up. And I know we've talked about it on here before. How are you? Not just how are you in terms of you all right, mate? All that sort of thing. How are you out of 10? So it forces them to give you an answer. I like it. Got me morning brew, says Dave Morwood. In bed at 2, early to get up. Jimmy, sorry, mate. Sorry, I'm up and about. I have to be this morning. Up all the rambles, like and subscribe, please. Hope you're well, pal. Thank you, my mate. I hope you're well too. Good morning, Jimmy. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Dawn. Hope you are too. Bisto Brett. We've all been so lucky this season. Personally, been one of the best seasons for me. Good to appreciate it and look forward to next season. Great to be a Rambler. You lot are all top boys and girls, he means, and girls. Thank you, my mate. Yeah, it's been brilliant. Been brilliant off the field this season, hasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Thom, morning, Jim pal. How are we doing out of 10 this morning? Ready for a nice quiet weekend of golf myself. Nice, mate. Was an absolutely top night on Sunday. What a group of people you have brought together. Thank you, my mate. Batman Lou says, 4-year-old me going to my first game would never have imagined I would be doing some of the things the Ramble has given me access to. Very lucky. I'm very appreciative. I don't want to dumb this down, by the way, but I'm very appreciative of the thanks that people give me and all that sort of stuff for bringing the community together. I'll be honest, it's an organic thing. It wasn't a big plan. It wasn't a big all we wanted to be as a channel was inclusive and be a place where people can air their views. I think a lot of places where I were looking before we came online were quite judgmental or negative or a bit polished or if you talk about Shore and View, a bit sweary, not exactly family friendly. God bless Johnny. And there were some huge fans of what he did. I was a big fan of what he did as well. Bar none, the best editor Sheffield United YouTube has ever seen and probably ever will. But yeah, it's grown organically, and it's not. I know I've sort of facilitated it, but I can't take the credit for everything that happens in there because it's the people. It's the people. An example would be, yes, we've all got together and got a nights out and stuff, and some people might feel on the edges, but they're not. They're not. They're all a part of it. Even if you just like to sit back quietly and watch, there's some that come to the pub with us that don't get deep into the conversations, and they'll know who they are, and I'll give them a nod next time we see them, but just like to be involved and be a part of it, and they are. They're very much a part of it. But, for example, Mark Meldrew was the one that organised a collection for Jord Motson's, for baby Motson. That wasn't me. I didn't start that. Not that I didn't think he was deserving, because we'd do that for anybody that we love. But that's the people that we've got in is what makes the community, not the fact that I sort of set it up. I appreciate what everybody says, but it's not just a me thing, is it? It's everybody. Meldrew says, can only speak on my own personal experience Sunday, and every single player and staff member were a credit to our football club. Proud to support them. Wouldn't want it any other way. Up the Blades. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I know this channel isn't specifically football based, and we talk about other things, but let's be real. A lot of us are big Sheffield United fans, or certainly football fans. So it resonates with us, doesn't it? And I think what a lot of people have said, and I've been fortunate to sort of see this prior to Sunday, but what a lot of the boys who hadn't had that sort of access before to play, and even saying that, it's like unbelievable that I know what we were in for and stuff. It's only because I've paid to go to these dues before. It's not a privilege that I get, but when you speak to the players, like Mark, for example, and saying like, I won't have another bad word said about Adam Davis, for example, because of what a brilliant bloke he is, and he was one of the nicest fellas you'll meet. Mark McGuinness, a really top fella. The difficulty for me is I have to separate that, because nothing we do is personal. Nothing we talk about is personal. We're judging, we're critiquing a performance, and it's not what an idiot Mark McGuinness is. It's what were Mark McGuinness doing up there when he should have been down there? Or why can't he get back in? If he can't get back in time, why isn't he positioning himself better? It's nothing to do with him as a person. And we always, if the thing I don't want to feel is that because we vaguely know the players, very sort of vaguely know some of the players, or we know that they're watching us now, because we weren't so sure, but now we know they definitely are. It doesn't change how we operate. Certainly not myself, anyway. Because you can't. You lose your integrity. Thom says, I know you don't like all this stuff, Jim, but what you've managed to build here is absolutely unbelievable, and a credit to yourself. Made friends for life through this channel, and I'm very grateful. Thank you, my mate. It's honestly the best thing about it. Don't get me wrong, from a selfish perspective, the fact that I can sustain myself by talking about our club is absolutely incredible. And that is obviously I now provide for my family by talking about Sheffield United. But the most rewarding part of it is everybody that's got together through the Ramble. Sorry to hear you're not feeling 100%, mate, says Sarah. Take time out for you. You do so much for this channel. I have to say, Sarah, thank you very much for that comment, by the way, but I have to say, I do need a bit of a break, or I did need a bit of a break. And don't get me wrong, if we book flights tomorrow, I won't be upset. We can't, but if we did, I wouldn't. But I've done, because the season's over, I've batch recorded a few bits. So I've got a video coming out about Harry Suter at 7 tonight. I've got a video about Laurent Tolage coming out. I've got a video about Lewis Dobbin coming out. I did a video about Billy Sharp. I did a video about Hamza. I've got a video about Siddy and Gus, whether we should sell them. They're all done, and they were all done a week ago. And that is, it's not something you're supposed to say on YouTube, but that's what a lot of people do. I love live content. Absolutely love it. And we'll move that way going forward. But I knew I wasn't feeling great. So I knew I needed a bit of time. And now I'm quite proud of myself for doing this, actually. I've batch recorded and I've put them out a day at a time. And then Paul rang me yesterday at my mountain, and he says, because he'd already sort of mooted that he wanted to do a view from the mountain this week. So I should have been ready for this, really. He says, I'm still on for a view from the mountain. I've got dumpling lined up if you're happy to set one up. Yes, mate, let's do that. So I got to move Suter back a day, and that gives me another day to sort of pull everything together. I've been working in background, obviously, and obviously doing things like playing at Bramall Lane, which is mad. But I have sort of managed my schedule a bit better because there's not such constant churn of match after match after match. I need to be uploading regularly, and it needs to be worthwhile content. But I have been managing myself a little bit better, Sarah, and I think that's probably why I'm feeling a bit of an uptick. So thank you. Right behind you, pal, says Mark Meldrew, and you, mate, and you, as always. Gaz, the man in black, says, Jimmy, absolute legend and a great guy. Thank you, mate. You've created a gleam. Oh, what you've created is gleaming. Whenever I hear gleaming, there's only one person I think of. And I can't thank you enough. I love you, man, and can't wait till we all get together again. Gaz, legend. Absolute legend. Mark says, without you, none of this happens. Look, I don't want this to be a bit of a loving. I appreciate the count. I'm not very good with taking this, and reading it out about yourself is really cringe. Okay, so without you, none of this happens, mate. No, you don't like this kind of stuff, but it's the truth. I'll always be thankful for the opportunities you've given me. Not just that, I've made friends for life. Yeah, I'm. You and Jod Motson. Well, I think Thom's now infiltrating that as a. It's not just a duo, is it? It's becoming a thruple now. You Motson and Thom. Dave Morwood says, at times, mate, we all have a bit of a wobble. No pun intended. Jimmy, what you and this channel has done for me is unbelievable. You legend. Love you. Love the channel, and the community keeps me safe. Dave, Dave, you are the legend, my mate. You are the absolute legend. Thank you for that, and thank you for everything you do. I love Dave Morwood is one of those that sometimes it works for people. It's interesting, actually, this, and I hope you don't mind me saying this. But I was at the game 2 days ago. I played with Aaron Bright, who was one of our platinum ramblers, and he's a very good left wing back, by the way. He actually, I wanted to keep him on because he was good, and he were like, he were walking off. I was like, Aaron, no, I'm not subbing you, mate. I'm not subbing you. He says, you are, you are. I'm gone. Okay, mate, let's sub you. But he's, we were talking afterwards, and I was saying, like, do you not fancy coming on more? And you're like, no, not really, mate, to be honest. And that's one of the first times people have said that, because Aaron came on for a very fleeting one when we were doing like Premier League, I think it was Premier League prediction or predicting some games, might have been champ predictions, and I was asking Platinum Ramblers to send their own predictions, and he did that, and it wasn't for him, which is absolutely, of course, it's fine. But Dave Morwood is one of the opposite ways, and Mark Meldrew is one of these as well, where finally came on, really enjoyed it, and obviously everybody enjoyed what he brought to screen as well. And now you'll see him almost, and I don't mean to sort of hold him to this because he can come on whenever he wants, but almost every 90 after 90, we get a call from Dave and we have a chat about how the game went. Same with Russ. Russ is now keen to get more involved because you get a little taste of it sometimes and you just want more. It's quite addictive because all you're doing is talking about United with your mates. Brett says, you're a proper unit, Jimmy. Some people like you and me ain't built for running. Thanks, Brett. You're right, though. Pure strength and power. We run from nothing but our problems. Nice, mate. That's never a true word said. Bald and Brilliant Lee says, morning, pal. Just got on due to being busy at work. Hope you're well, pal. What are you doing up? Why are you up? Lee, who did like a 16 or an 18-hour day yesterday, finished at 2 in the morning. Thank you for this, mate, but go back to bed. Rich says, not been feeling good for a couple of weeks myself, and I found myself snapping at my partner and kids, feeling a bit down and eating rubbish. Apologised to them all last night, and we all watched a movie and feel much better. Sometimes we have to realise things get on top, but we realise we get through it. Well said, mate. Well said. Yeah, it's unfortunate that that's happened, but nobody's perfect, are they? And it seems hopefully like, the family have understood and everything's as it should be. And a bit like me, I suppose, you're back on the up. So sorry you've been feeling low, pal. It's it affects. I was having this conversation. I had a chat with Rich Carrington a couple of days ago, and he was just sort of ringing to see how I was as well, more than anything. And I was saying, I think everybody gets low. It's just everybody deals with it differently, don't they? And sometimes you recognise that you're feeling that way, and other times you don't. And sometimes it's just, you know, biting down on your gum shield, isn't it, sometimes, and getting through. But there are always people here if you're struggling, mate. Big T. Nah, then Big T. Jimmy, you know I've been there and it's hard, but tomorrow is a better day. You know where I am, and I know everyone says it, but you know how big I was. So if I can help, I will. Big T, inspirational story, and one of the people that regularly messages me and says, "Have you got out for your steps this afternoon, pal? Have you got out for a run? Have you done this? Have you done that?" And I've asked him to. I've asked everybody to that wants to do that, and it's a nudge into it in the right direction. So I appreciate you, Big T, and well done, pal. Morning, Jim, says Mark. Love your content and ramblings. There would be a huge void if your channel wasn't here. Up the ramble. Thank you, mate. Thank you. It's it goes to show what you know, I suppose what we've done done to when people feel like that. It's a really nice thing to say. Don't give yourself too much of a hard time, says Sarah, mate. Sarah, mate. Don't give yourself too much of a hard time, mate, says Sarah. Losing weight whilst feeling flat isn't easy. I think we've all been there, including myself. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's just sometimes it's a realization, isn't it? And the problem was it wasn't enough to sort of snap me into action. But, you know, we'll get there. Lee pulling a Christian. That guy is nuts. 10 minutes sleep. It's ridiculous, isn't it, Lou? Absolutely ridiculous. Right. I'm going to call it there because I have absolutely rambled on for ages. I know that's the name of the show usually, but yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining me. Hang on. Great to meet you on Wednesday, Gaffer. Oh, which one? Which Lewis? Lewis, is this Lewis? There were a few L's. There were two Lewises. There were a Logan. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be a manager. Great to meet you too, pal. Here for all the ramblers anytime, even if they stop me going to bed until 4 a.m. Oh my, there'll be a story there somewhere, I think. Anyway, right, I'm going to call it there. Thank you to everybody for joining us as always. We will be back on Ramble FC tonight. Myself and Jord Motson doing the watch along at 7 o'clock. We'll have a video out on the Blades Ramble about Harry Suter and whether we should get him back. So loads of stuff coming up. I'm off to the gym this afternoon, so wish me luck, and I'll see you on the other side.